This is New Day Northwest. Now, here's Margaret Larson.
Good morning, everybody. We kick things off with an early start to St. Patrick's Day celebrations because why wouldn't you? With a little help from Kells Irish Restaurant and Pub down at Pike Place Market. The restaurant underwent renovations after a fire last January and is now ready to fully reopen in time for their 35th annual St. Patrick's Day party. Please welcome one of Kells' owners, Karen McAleese. How are you? Welcome. So tell me a little bit about your own heritage.
I was born in Ireland. I was born in Belfast, Ireland.
And so do you celebrate St. Patrick's Day the way we do here?
Not really, but although St. Patrick is the patron saint of Ireland,
yes,
and so it is a religious holiday, so it is celebrated very differently in the U.S.
Yes, I would say this is not necessarily a religious celebration, but people do partake. So we're going to cook today in celebration of St. Patty's Day. There are actually more Irish Americans than there are people in Ireland at this point because of immigration. Did you know that? Lots of us. So we're making shepherd's pie today, right?
Yes.
Tell me why that's such an iconic dish.
It's a very traditional dish. We do make it with beef at the restaurant. Some people make it with lamb because of obviously shepherds. Right. Shepherds have their flock of sheep. Mm-hmm. However, we make it with the ground beef and carrots, onions. Some people add celery. They add peas. A lot of it's to make everyone have their vegetables.
We're hiding them in the pie.
You hide them in the meat.
I actually do like the peas in shepherd's pie. So we started ahead of time just browning the meat and the onions, right?
Right.
Are you ready for the carrots?
Usually when you get, well, it depends if you want your carrots. Some people like their carrots where they're crunchy. Mm-hmm. They don't like them mushy.
What do you like?
So, well, I like to have a wee bit of crunch in them. Okay. I don't like them soft.
Going with you then.
And so in another pot, you do boil the water, and then you add the potatoes, and you cut the potatoes up, not too small, because if you cut them up too small, they absorb so much water. So the water must be boiling, and then you add the potatoes.
Pop them in.
And you've already salted water going here.
Okay, I
can
take that. Oops,
we
lost
cover
the potato.
Oh,
one man didn't want to go in.
It's a wee bit too big. So careful. We cut it here, put it in here, turn it, increase the temperature, bring it to a boil.
So while we're working on that, just describe, if you would, what else we have over here.
Okay, so we have the shepherd's. After we cook this here, we put the meat into a casserole dish, the meat and the carrots and onions. You put them in a casserole dish. And then in this pot here, you have the potatoes. When the potatoes are finished cooking, probably after about 25 minutes, you transfer the meat into the dish, and then you team the potatoes. We call it teaming. You make sure that all the water is drained out of them. You can put them into a colander, rinse them, but make sure they're aired, or not rinse them, but make sure that all the water is drained through. And then you put them into a bowl, mash them. You can use a whip, you can use a potato masher, and you might whip them up. You add lovely Irish butter, salt and pepper. I like white pepper. I don't like to see the dark granules of black pepper in my potatoes. Okay. And you use whipped cream.
Oh,
it's nice. And of course, for all those that are health conscious, they might want to use milk. However, the consistency of whipped cream when you put it in the potatoes gives it more of a flow.
Right. If you're going to go with the potatoes, can we just go with the cream? That sounds like a good idea to me.
Cream, butter, and then you transfer the meat into the dish, and then you put the whipped potatoes on top, and then you can put it in the oven. And if it's still hot, you put it in the oven, and you can just lightly coat it with egg white or egg. Some people like egg, some people like egg white. You just beat up the egg, one egg. You can add a little taste of milk so it goes further. And then you can put it on the broil in the oven, and then it'll give a nice brown effect on the top.
Look at that. That's gorgeous.
And then that way you can either reheat it and have it later, or you can serve it. But
and
it's
it gets even better, right, when you wait, because the flavors just go together.
Sometimes you can't wait.
Sometimes you can't. No, you should go and then have some leftovers. So tell us about the bread.
And this soda bread, and this is wheaten bread, and this is soda bread. The wheaten bread is a darker bread made with wheat, and the soda bread is traditionally made with white. There is no yeast in the bread. It's made with buttermilk, and so the interaction between the buttermilk and the baking soda is what makes it rise. Wow. So we bake this every day in the restaurant. This is my mother's recipe, Ethna, and she is the matriarch of Kells. And
that's cool.
We serve this with all our meals.
And so what else would we look for in the restaurant for the holiday? And
Over here
both
we have
beverages and food.
So we have the Irish cheeses. We serve, there's a few of them here. I brought a few samples of the traditional Irish cheeses. My favorite is the Tipperary cheddar and the Cargoline smoked cheddar.
Looks
It's
pretty
lovely.
good.
And then we have a large selection. This is probably 1/3 of them, traditional Irish whiskies.
Right.
And
Jameson's, everybody. Salute. So what are the more popular Irish whiskeys, and how do they differ from, say, Scottish whiskeys?
a lot of it is the process, but a lot of the Scottish whiskeys are Scotch, where these whiskies are made in Ireland. And one of the most popular ones is Jameson, as we know, and also Tullamore Dew. And they are two big distilleries in Ireland. As they say, every man needs their due. And
that's what they're talking
so
about, right?
that's what they're talking about when they talk about Tullamore Dew. And then you have the Jameson, and Jameson has come out with several different brands. So has Tullamore Dew. I couldn't bring them all here today, but as I say,
got them.
Yes, I have them. I have the rest in the car.
Can I put the carrots in now?
Yes, go ahead.
Is that all right?
Yes, that's
Now,
grand.
let me ask you about your reopening and the history of what's been going on and how you're fully reopened here.
So Kells opened in 1983. It was, at the time, it was just a warehouse in the basement in Post Alley. And we were starting a renovation, and then there was a fire on January 5th, a year ago, 2016. And it was pretty tragic because we were ready to actually begin a structural upgrade. But the fire ended up destroying, setting back the project. It destroyed basically 5 floors of the restaurant because there was so much damage, because the fire was a full-on fire on the top of the building. And so we had to wait to delay the project. But finally, hopefully, we get the fire inspections all sorted out of the way this week. And I owe my gratitude to the community who have supported us all through the year, waiting on when are we going to get reopened again, because we have been closed right after St. Patrick's Day last year.
Oh my goodness, but you
So-
think everything's fine for this weekend?
Well, we'll leave that up to St. Patrick. All green, all
I think
green to
St.
go.
Patrick's probably looking after you. All right, I see you've got some
So then you
spices
just,
there.
so we
What
have the
happens
spices.
next?
You have the option if you'd like to order bay leaf. A lot of people cook with bay leaf. You have
I'm
the
going
time.
with whatever you recommend.
You can order. You can add in a beef stock if you'd like.
Ooh, that smells so good.
And we have fresh parsley here. And you just add parsley as you like it.
I feel like we underuse parsley in home cooking.
And you
That's
can,
something we can
and when you
learn.
garnish it, if you're having it as a formal dinner, you can put it on the potatoes, and then.
And do we have a way to cut into it so we can kind of see what it looks
yeah.
like?
Sure.
I'll keep stirring over here so none of this goes to waste.
And in the restaurant, when we are doing parties, we will actually serve these in casserole style. However, individually, we serve them as little individual pie dishes.
Oh,
So
so
you
there's lots of
basically-
crust, right?
Yes. And everybody has their own way of making these, but there's what it's like. You have the ground beef layered.
Doesn't
And
that
if you'd
look
like
good,
to,
you guys?
yeah, and if you'd like to order more gravy afterwards, you can order, but generally,
So
usually
don't
it's
eat a
moist
lot
enough.
during the day. Just come in and enjoy things in the weekend. And so we'll put up a quick prayer that everything goes
Yes.
on correctly for the weekend. And what is that going to mean to you when the doors reopen and
Well,
you're
it'll
fully
be a
back
big
in
relief,
business?
but we plan to have this St. Patrick's Day. It's always a big celebration. It's always sharing our culture, music, traditional dancing, Irish food. It's just not a drink-up holiday. It's part of a culture.
Right.
And it's wonderful that we're able to share this with everyone. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people looking forward to it too.
They are. So just a little luck of the Irish and you'll be
Yes.
open this weekend. Thank you
Yes.
so much for
Thank
coming
you.
and
Thank
sharing
you for
all of
having
this
us.
with us. And all of us who have Irish heritage should do a little reading and find out what this is all about. You can find details of their St. Patrick's Day celebration on our website. And then there's a bonus for our New Day audience. Kells brought gift cards and hoodies for everybody. Isn't that cool? Thank you so much for that. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day to you too.
Still ahead, some of the newest smart home devices out there. We'll see how to find the ones that fit your family's needs right after a quick break.
This New Day cooking segment brought to you by Ferguson Bath Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, powered by Electrolux.
Tonight, you're invited